Hi there, this is Eshu. I'm the abbot here at Zenwest Buddhist Society. This Living Zen-podcast is just one of the many resources we've created at Zenwest to make Zen practice and training more available and accessible to people all over the world. Instructional videos, printable resources, and much, much more are also available on our website at www.zenwest.ca. If you're a regular listener, I'd love to hear from you. So please drop me an email at office@zenwest.ca and let me know who you are, how you got started, and what brought you to Zen. Everything we make available in person and online at Zenwest is only possible because of the support of our members and associates, people like you. If the efforts of our community are making a difference in your life, I'd like to invite you to show your support and take part in making it happen by becoming an associate or member of the Zenwest Sangha. You can do this by clicking the Join Us tab on our website at www.zenwest.ca. Thank you for your support, and thanks for listening. Before I begin, I just wanted to do a quick form review. This is mostly for people who have been coming for a long time, members. When you're entering the zendo, when you're walking towards your seat in the zendo, you should have your hands palm to palm in gasho. Generally speaking, gasho is the active posture. So if you're walking towards something, whether it's your seat, into a room, whether it's towards a person, your hands should be palm to palm in gasho. The other posture is sashu, which is the passive hand posture, the one that we use in walking meditation. And for sashu, your right hand goes on your abdomen, your solar plexus. So just below your sternum, there's this triangle of your abdomen. This is the solar plexus. So you place your hand flat on that with your left hand covering. So your elbows are kind of up. When we're doing walking meditation, it won't do to have your hands down around your belly button. This is how we sit, nice and round. But when we're walking, the arms are up at the solar plexus, and there should be this energy in your hands. Generally speaking, in Rinzai Zen, this is not a falling asleep practice. This is an actively aware, engaged practice. So even as we're walking, our hands are resting on our abdomen, on our solar plexus. But there should even be this sort of internal kind of rotation in the hands, a kind of clasping of the hands together so that there's an energetic there, so that we're awake in our hands, we're awake in our body, we're paying attention to the whole room that's around us. And so when we're leaving, when we're walking out of a room or away from a person, or when we're just, say for example, at the temple and nothing's happening, we're just walking from point A to point B, the hands are in sashu. Traditionally, around a Zen training center, your hands are never just flapping around at your sides. We're always aware of what we're doing with our body, and so we use these postures, these forms, as a way of demonstrating our mindfulness, our awareness of what we're doing with all parts of our body, heart, and mind. So, I'm coming back here after a couple of weeks of holidays. And I find myself in a very curious position, I suppose, or maybe rare and precious position of being really happy to come back from vacation. I think a lot of people spend their lives working very hard to make money so that they can have the resources, so that they can have good weekends or good holiday time. And I feel very blessed that for me, I spend a lot of my time and energy I guess not making money, but developing a community, developing a practice, which is, I have come to love deeply. I've come to feel very at home in. So much so that vacation time to me seems this very strange thing where I remove myself from my community and my supports and spend time not working on this thing that I love so much, on this practice and this community. It's a very strange thing. And coming back into it, coming back to this Tuesday evening and engaging in practice with all of you, immediately I feel buoyed, supported, energized. And it reminds me of something that I often talk about during the Fundamentals course, which is a course we do at Zenwest. And whenever I talk about rules and guidelines, and we all have rules and guidelines, and in the form we have all kinds of rules and guidelines, and particularly at the beginning of Buddhism, the ordained monks had a couple of hundred rules and guidelines. And of course, a lot of them had to do with not having stuff. Each of the ordained members of the Buddha Sangha had a very specific list of things which they could possess. A few sets of robes, a water bottle, a razor, things like that. But not much else. And the monks couldn't have sex, and the monks couldn't eat after noontime. So they lived really sort of close to the ground. One of the most striking things I remember hearing or learning when I was early in practice was that the system of justice, I guess, for lack of a better word, in the Buddha's Sangha was based on this sort of collaboration, being open about your conduct and the conduct of your fellow practitioners. And one of the most remarkable things about it was that because you were not allowed to own so many things, because life was so strict, so limited, you had to ask yourself, what is it that keeps a person there? What is it that makes a person want to do that practice? The greatest punishment that was meted out in the Buddha's Sangha was to be thrown out of the Buddha's Sangha. When you think about it, being thrown out of the Buddha's Sangha would mean like you could go have sex again, and you could go get drunk again, and you could go make money again, and you could have like 3 pairs of clothes instead of 2 pairs of clothes. It doesn't sound so bad. But when you understand that when things are so low to the ground in this way, the only thing keeping you in, the only thing that gives you the strength to go on with that practice, to go on with that incredible discipline, is the merit or the benefit of the company that you're keeping. Simply being a part of this community is what keeps you straight, keeps you held in the discipline, being with good people. One of the things that I have to say about this community that we practice in is that spending some time away from it, really being forced to spend some time away from it. I have this wonderful board that gives me trouble if I don't take vacation. If I respond to emails during my vacation, some of my board members and the people who do work for the Zen Center tell me that my computer is going to explode if I respond to another email. But one of the things that I really realize is the value of community and the preciousness of this community that we have spent the past, I've been here for 19 years. Around there. Developing, growing, cultivating. We have people who now, when I take vacation, activities continue, practice continues. Any one of us can disappear for a little while, and this body, this community, this Sangha is there when people need it. This treasure of Sangha is there to provide a place, to provide a practice, to provide support when people want to engage in practice. And this seems a small thing. I think it's something that's easy to overlook in our culture today with blinding fast download rates and big screen plasma TVs and things like this. Just a group of people that are willing to sit down, shut up, and be there with you as you investigate the nature of your own mind, the nature of your own heart, the nature of this very cosmos. So I don't have too much to say tonight other than thank you. Thank you for engaging in this practice. Because when I come down to it, what I see in this room and in this community is a group of people who are willing to sit, to investigate, to practice for the benefit of all of us together, this whole world. This isn't so common. This isn't so mundane. When we talk about Sangha, community, as a treasure, just spending a little bit of time away from it reminds me, allows me to remember that this community is indeed a treasure. So thank you. Thanks for listening to the Living Zen podcast. If you follow Living Zen through iTunes, I would very much appreciate it if you would take a moment to let me know what you think about it by rating or reviewing the podcast, so that new listeners can also hear what you have to say. Thank you for your time and for your support.